Thanks to Trump, Vladimir Putin just invaded Poland, just like she said he would.
Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Secretary General of NATO Mark Rutte had these comments to make.
Last night, numerous drones from Russia violated Polish airspace. Our air defenses were activated and successfully ensured the defense of NATO territory, as they are designed to do. Several allies were involved alongside Poland. This included Polish F-16s, Dutch F-35s, Italian AWACS, NATO multi-role tanker transport and German Patriots. The North Atlantic Council met this morning and discussed the situation in light of Poland's request for consultations under Article 4 of the Washington Treaty.
So, to clarify, Poland is invoking Article 4 of the NATO Treaty in preparation for invoking Article 5. Alexander Vindman makes clear this can all be laid at the foot of Donald Trump. He writes, "This incident involved a formation of drones executing a pre-planned route through Poland, an unambiguous probe of NATO's resolve to defend Allied airspace and sovereignty. It signals Russia's willingness to escalate provocations against NATO's eastern flank, especially as the United States withdraws support, and signals that it may not honor NATO's Article 5 collective defense obligations." Considering the Trump administration's historically weak and equivocal responses, inaction will only encourage Russia to expand its aggression toward NATO. And it is precisely because of Trump's weakness against Putin that Senator Melissa Slotkin had this to say about Russia's invasion of Poland.
I think with Russia, if you just review the data points, from Trump rolling out the red carpet for Putin, we know he wants to win the Nobel Prize for his work on bringing an end to a war there and in the Middle East. He rolls out the red carpet, he cozies up to him. And the data points since then are basically like a thumb in the eye to Trump, right? Putin goes and does this big event with the Chinese leadership. He launches the largest assault on Kyiv since the beginning of the war, and now is testing like a toddler the sort of NATO limits by sending drones over. And I'm glad that the polls have called for consultations. I'm glad that we're having these conversations. I personally think we have to send a strong message back to Putin because he is clearly walking all over President Trump. I don't think a Nobel Prize is in his future for the president. So it is an interesting development that we need to respond to.
So calling for consultations is officially known as Article 4. That would potentially lead to Article 5, which, Senator, you remember at the time President Biden and all the NATO leaders in the early years of this war kept saying not 1 inch. If Russia strayed 1 inch inside NATO territory, whether by air, land or sea, then it would trigger a full NATO response. Look, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. I know nobody wants to go to direct war with Russia, but on the other hand, what is the signal, then, that you say needs to be sent now?
Yeah, well, certainly I think the president has been dragging his feet on a bipartisan proposal on another round of sanctions. The bill is ready to go. It's co-led by both a Democrat and a Republican. We could do that tomorrow. And the president has been reluctant to do that, thinking he can be the one who kind of convinces Putin to think, to listen to his better angels.
So where is Trump in all of this? Doing his usual, falling asleep behind the wheel. We are on the verge of World War III, and Mango Mussolini can't stay awake long enough to care. And if you still doubt that Trump is totally in the pocket of Vladimir Putin, here's what J.D. Vance had to say just hours after the attack. The administration sees no reason to continue to economically isolate Russia. Yeah, tell me again we're not a vassal state of Russia underneath Trump and the MAGA movement. Tell me again how we support the troops. Tell me again how this is a tough guy. And tell me again how Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have a plan. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.